Great to have Wes Golden in and getting ready for FYI. We got a lot to talk about, but I want to get into, we got to talk a little cross country before we get into nuts and bolts here. Clinton girls ran pretty well. Got to get that fifth girl and maybe get to the state meet.
Yeah, the fifth runner is always, that's what's so amazing about cross country is that it's an individual sport, but it's a team sport, and everybody counts, not only that fifth runner, but that sixth runner in case there's a tie. So everybody's important.
No doubt about that. And, because Corinne and Allie both qualified for state last year individually. Now they are kind of joined by Aubrey Rivers and, of course, Campbell Sattler, who was finished ahead of her sister yesterday.
No, like we said, no sibling rivalry there. Always out to get the best of big sister. So
well, I know Mom and Dad run, and of course Bill was an outstanding runner.
Yeah, I ran with Bill. Yeah.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, Bill's a year ahead of me. We were on the team that got second place at the state meet in '88. He and I were on that team together.
So did you run with Bill, or was Bill out in front of you there, Wes?
Well, yeah, Bill's a great leader. He had high expectations and really pushed us all to be better. That was the year, though, that he had hurt himself. He did so at the district meet that year. We won the district meet, and he had hurt himself in that district meet, and he did not run at the state meet. So we got second without our number one runner.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Yeah.
CHS Construction. I drive by, I see the steel going up.
Steel's going up, so it's starting to look more like a building instead of a war zone. I was over there yesterday walking through some classes, and some people were really happy to see that final phase starting to take shape. And anytime you build and you start to see that structure taking shape, it's a sense of relief, like, it's going to happen. So it's good.
I want to, you talked about you were walking through the building. I would imagine there's probably kind of a different feeling from the students and from the teachers as to how this thing is going, because the students, some of them are going to be gone.
Yeah.
The freshmen, of course, they may get to see
They will.
this. And the teachers, there you go, cross your fingers. And the teachers certainly got to be anticipating when this is finished.
Yeah, it's been a long haul for them, and I would say that our students have been great. They have been so flexible. They get it. Teachers do too, but they're the ones who are there no matter what, every day, all years. The seniors even now. This started before they were even in high school, so they've kind of lived through it. But certainly our sophomores and freshmen, and even some of our juniors will reap the benefits of a completed school. So.
Oh my goodness! And when that is done, what a jewel that's going to be for the community.
Yeah, it's great. And again, it's so appreciative of the community supporting us and being patient with this process. It's tough to take an old building down and replace it at the same time. So everybody has been so gracious and helpful and being patient and understanding. So it's been great. All the secret passageways that move here and there, and my own kid, when as a senior, is like, man, I get 15,000 steps in, because you just have long distances to travel because of the paths you have to take.
And we're going to talk more about this, the community coming together for this referendum, because I know you've got another vote coming up.
Yeah, so the physical plant and equipment levy, it's a 10-year program that we asked for approval to keep that. We're coming close to the end of it. It actually expires in May of 2027. But hey, it's like, hey, Wes, it's October, November of 2025. Why are we doing this so early? Is to make sure that we get through it. Really, what this money does is what we receive helps us replace roofs. It buys buses, and I think we talked last month about that. The literal amount and expense just to keep things maintained. We spend between $15,000 and $100,000 a year just on cement. As a sidewalk heaves or there's cracks here or there. So we try real hard, because we are so appreciative of what the community has supported in our facilities, from athletic facilities to academic buildings. We have great facilities, and that's due to the support of the community. We as a school district just want to maintain it so that it does last another 100 years, so that we don't have to build another high school earlier than later.
Obviously very important because a week from today, Alicia from Northeast is going to be in.
Yeah.
Chris Fee at Easton Valley has reached out to us. He's coming in the next day on Friday. And then in 2 weeks, we're going to hear from Steph from Central DeWitt. So all you superintendents, you're circling the wagons.
Yeah, well, I tell you, and they're all great folks, and they care about their districts, and they want to see the best for their students, as we do here in Clinton, and have had the support. I always just like to remind people, to vote, regardless of how they choose to vote. Voting is so important. This really is important for us. But people need to know that, one, it will not raise anybody's property taxes. A vote yes does not raise property taxes, and I think that's so critical because we're in a world where that really matters to people. Every dime, every penny is important to each and every one of us, and we cannot use it for salaries. We cannot use it for benefits. It can only go towards the physical equipment and facilities of our district to keep them in great condition, so we don't later on have to pay for a much more expensive thing because we had to let it go.
Let's stay with that subject until the weather break, and then we'll get into the Hall of Honor.
You bet.
Following that. So how are you getting the word out about this, Wes?
You bet. So being here with you is a big part. We have a committee. We've obviously identified the groups of people that we believe vote, and we reach out to them. I've done somewhat of a campaign in some of our local organizations to our local leaders to help them. Our plant services director, he reaches out to the folks that we contract to help do cement, help repair things. We're going to reach out to parents. Parents matter. They care. We'll certainly the community will certainly have something in the newspaper about it to communicate. We'll use social media. We're trying to be strategic because if we start too early, people will forget about it. But if we do it too long, people will get tired of it. So we're trying to start now and communicate what we're letting our teams know at our buildings. We're letting families know. We're letting the PTAs know. We'll get it out to the Herald again.
So is this going to be on the ballot November 4th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's not that far away.
No,
Wes.
we got about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We got about 3 weeks, and letting folks know that this will be on the ballot. It helps keep and maintain our facilities and buy buses and repair roofs and so on and so forth. It buys computers for our students. We're a one-to-one district, so meaning each student has a computer assigned to them. We live in the 21st century where digital everything is in our faces, so that's so important to our students. If we don't have that PEPL funding, then it has to come from somewhere else, and it's always a matter of balancing it out. So.
People are seeing the construction that's going on, has been going on at the high school, but this is for all schools.
Every school.
Every one of your schools.
Yep, every school, every bus. So we have 27 buses. One bus costs about $150,000, and we try to buy 2 of those a year. So there's $300,000 right out the door just on buses. And the money that we generate from the PEPL is about $1 million. So if you think if we're buying 2 buses, that already takes out 1/3 of our total funding. So, and if we repair cement, then that's $100,000 a year. We're already at 400. It adds up really quickly. And back when you were a kid or I was a kid, $1 million was a lot of money. And yes, $1 million still is a lot of money, but it certainly doesn't stretch like it used to.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Speaking of buses, the bus barn, has been godsend for you guys.
Yeah, there's still more. It is. It's great because we have bays that you can drive into. We can wash the buses now. Before we couldn't do that in a what I would say efficient way, but that helps maintain the buses and helps them so we can keep them longer.
Yeah.
You can certainly notice some of our buses, the ones that are on the end of their lifespan, they're starting to rust out. We still have work to do out there in terms of we'd love to get a parking lot so that it's not gravel. That gravel gets up under the undercarriage and it causes damage too. But we're not asking for that right now. But no, again, great support from our community in allowing us to do those things.
Just before we take the break for the weather, you talk about this money going out. How does that allocated? Who makes the decisions on that, Wes?
That's a great question. So we have a committee that takes in information from each of our buildings. It takes in information from each of our directors, whether that's transportation, plant services, nutrition services, but each building principal, they submit their wish lists. They tell us, hey, if is this something that's needed for a safety reason? Is this something that's needed because it's for academic reasons? But we then rank them and we prioritize them based on the need, but safety is always first. So safety will always be first. And then the committee then puts together, based on our budget, how much money we have and how much each of those things cost. And then we draw a line where we run out of money, and so buses are always first, because we have 27. And if we do 2 a year, that's a 14-year rotation. A 14-year-old bus may not seem like it's old, but those things have hundreds of thousands of miles on them by that time. So
Interesting. So the newer buses go out for the sporting events? How do you do that?
well, yeah, I mean, it's whatever we got.
Whatever's available,
Yeah,
okay.
honestly, the transportation department does a wonderful job in prioritizing. Hey, this is a bus that we know is brand new. Hey, we're going to Des Moines. Let's use that bus. They do a great job. I will defer to Chris Turner to give that information. But yeah.
What about the vans? How many vans do we have?
Oh, geez, that's a great question.
Because, sometimes, like with a golf squad or,
Yep.
Like a cross-country team, you can jump them in a bus. A van.
Yeah, our small vehicle fleet is being utilized even more because often you might have the meet before the meet. You might have the race before the race. In track and field, often the field events folks go before the track team. Yeah. So they'll take a van down, the bowling team. They might take the van. Even in volleyball, you might, if varsity or sophomore play at a different time, you might take a van down. So our small fleet has really increased. It's also easier to license somebody for a smaller vehicle. It really does help. Absolutely.
More with Wes Golden right after our break for the weather, brought to you by Prairie Lumber.
Let's grab those umbrellas for our Thursday morning as some scattered shower activity will be likely. However, heading into the afternoon, a much brighter sky. As sunshine returns, we'll see temperatures in the mid-70s today. For tonight, a few clouds. Overnight lows warmer near 60 degrees. With your Storm Track 8 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutzky.
Right now, we're looking at 58 degrees. Our update brought to you by Prairie Lumber.
For over 115 years, people have relied on Anderson. Let us help you bring your vision to life while adding value to your home. Replacing your windows not only can help increase your home's value, it can boost energy efficiency, improve window operation, and add beauty, whether traditional or modern. Anderson offers stylish, reliable, and durable options for every home. See the 400, 200, and 100 series Anderson windows today at Prairie Lumber, 912 2nd Street in Fulton.
Wes Golden in studio with us. Let's talk about the Hall of Honor. It's not been around that long, but it's got some amazing names in there.
It really does, and it's such a wonderful. It started 7, 8 years ago with Gary DeLacy, previous superintendent. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for our community, our students to see, hey, you can go to Clinton High School and you can go on in the world and even stay in the community and do wonderful, amazing things that really change the world. So, it's pretty cool. So we're in that nomination stage. So if you go onto the Clinton Community School website, there's a nomination form on there. If you know of any person who attended Clinton High School, graduated from Clinton High School and has become really, an icon in their industry or their business or their place of purpose, we'd love to highlight them and consider them for a role model for our students.
We just recently, both of us were at the Walk of Fame, and you spoke very well on William Connor.
Yeah.
And now, was he a Clinton High graduate?
He was. He was a Clinton High School graduate, late 1800s.
He would be eligible for the Hall of Honor, or is he
He's
already
in?
He's already in.
He was in the very first class of the Hall of Honor. And in fact, I discovered a gentleman who was just a year or two behind William Connor, who went on and graduated from the U.S. Naval Academy. I can't remember his first name. I'll have to look it up, but Berrien is his last name. And he graduated in 1897, went on to the Annapolis. Not only did he graduate from Annapolis, he went on to become a rear admiral, but for 3 years, he was the head coach of the U.S. Navy midshipman football team. But he was the commander of the Washington Naval Yard, the USS Lexington. And in fact, Ginny Mann, who knows everything about Clinton High School and the history of it, I said, hey, Ginny, did this guy actually go to Clinton High School? Because, this is over 100 years ago. She's like, well, let me check. And she found they used to track graduates in the late 1800s, early 1900s. and they would track graduates as to where they were after they graduated. And we do something similar, but they use like note cards. And she found a note card with his name on it. It said he was now the commander of the USS Lexington. So I did a little bit more research, and I found in the U.S. Naval Archives that it says in their archives that he was a graduate of Clinton High School, went to the Naval Academy. I'm like, this guy graduated from Clinton High School. So he's currently obviously going to be a nominee, whether he gets selected, which, holy cow.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty cool stuff.
So now I would imagine you're a part of the nomination committee.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, is the committee itself pretty heavily involved in making the nominations?
Many of us do, because we're passionate about what happens. And no, but we certainly would love to have a community, and we do have folks who do submit nominees from the community and from around the world. We've had folks from Texas and from Tennessee shoot us some nominees of people that they know about, and we throw them in the pile and consider them.
You know, and what's interesting about this, I know at the Athletic Hall of Fame, we have like a 10-year waiting period.
Yep.
After 10 years, similar for the Hall of Honor?
Yep, 10-year waiting period. We want people to get into their careers and show some growth and impact on what they do, from folks who are, researchers to medical doctors to, just the folks who volunteer in their communities and make a difference to, accountants who have gone on and worked in their industry as leaders, to politicians. It's every walk of life. Last year we had 6 wonderful, highly qualified folks, and when they all came back and they gave the speeches to the students, they were absolutely incredible. Just they were inspiring to me, and I'm a kid too from Clinton. So
what's interesting about this is you talked about the 1800s, the late 1800s, but we now have some people in the Hall of Honor who graduated in the 2000s.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, one of my former students, has his PhD in physics or something, and has gone on into the industry to be a leader in fuel. And understanding how to combust fuel or use fuel in a more efficient way. 2000. So we've got a few in the early 2000s that have been inducted.
It's got to be gratifying to you as an instructor to have somebody who's gone on to do something like that, basically in kind of your field.
Oh man, there's some kids. I'm in awe of some of the students, many of the students that I was able to teach in science. I taught physics, astronomy, and earth science for many years at Clinton High. And there's some kids that I just had a student reach out to me who's finishing her PhD in physics from the University of Missouri. And I'm just like, wow, it's so cool.
I mean, what's it like to know, boy, they have gone beyond what I taught them?
Oh, yeah. Certainly I'm not the master, but the apprentice has certainly exceeded the master here. And I know of a handful of kids who've gone on from my classes and received their PhDs in physics, and I'm like, wow. And all those kids, all of them were like, wow, you could see it in them when they were in school. You're brilliant. And so many kids at Clinton High School are brilliant, and they have so much to offer the world. I'm excited to see their futures and someday them being considered for the Hall of Honor.
Yeah. How can people make nominations to the Hall of Honor?
Yes, if they just go to the Clinton community, if you just Google Clinton Community School District and Hall of Honor, there'll be a site that comes up. You can download the nomination form. You can email it to me, my email address, or just mail it to us. We'll take them and we'll throw them in the pile for consideration. Currently, right now, so they're good. Nominations are good for 3 years. Okay. So if after 3 years they're not selected, they can be renominated and put back into the consideration. But right now we have about 21 nominations for the 3-year window. We'll take more. We'll take as many as we can get because there are so many deserving people.
I know this event usually takes place in the spring, right?
Yep. So we'll do the nominations now. The consideration will be in November. In fact, next month. Instead of me being here to speak with you, it's usually Denny Durling and Bill Mashevitz are the ones, and with you they will announce the the newest inductees. We've done,
Really?
yeah, every year. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So
Okay.
you're the man. Yeah.
well, I'm not the man, but
it happens here. So they will announce the most recent nominee or inductees, and then in April we will induct them.
you know what I found with the Athletic Hall of Fame, it's great when the people that are going in can actually make it back. But then when
Absolutely.
you get some of the ones from way back, you're trying to find a family member. And when we got the great niece of Duke Slater to
Yeah.
show up, that was amazing.
It is, and we try really hard to find at least a relative if we can. But it is when the person has graduated in 1897. Sometimes it's a bit more difficult to find somebody. But I think between Bill's a great storyteller, and what have you, we'll find somebody to do them justice in the acceptance.
All right, very good. Your final point, community engagement.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Yeah, what the heck is he talking
Yeah.
about? You know, that's the thing we always, try to aspire to, is encouraging and motivating people to be engaged in our schools. If that's through the vote on November 4th, if that's volunteering to read to students, if that's coming to a board meeting to learn more about, how does school finance work, please, please, please. And if you ever have questions, reach out to me or reach out to a principal, reach out to any of our administrators or teachers to learn more, because the more you know, the better you're informed, the more we can work together. So I always want to encourage people to just be involved. We appreciate community engagement.
All right. As always, a pleasure to have you in. So
thank you.
So next month, probably be Denny and Bill, right?
It'll be Denny. You're stuck with Denny and Bill.
Denny and Bill.
Yeah.
Now, do you have like a set number? I mean, you mentioned 6 went in last time.
Yeah.
Does it matter? Or
We tried. We talked. We actually had a meeting last night to kind of go through the process and where we're at. I think the sweet spot is 4 to 5.
Okay.
But if you've got some nominees that are just really, I think 6. In the second year, so the class I went in the second class. There was probably like 7 or 8, but that was the COVID years. So there was two groups of people who are in that group. Last year we had 6. That was a pretty big class, but all were so deserving. I think 4 to 5 is probably a good sweet spot.
all right, very good. As always, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
John Sadak here from Westwood One. Ross Tucker and I will bring you Thursday Night Football.